What's up, y'all? We are live. It is Thursday, and we're here tuning in to another live. And you're probably wondering, where in the world is Lewis? Where's my partner in crime? Where's the guy that we break this down with? You know? It's just me and you today, a one-on-one conversation. And I want to talk about something. It's Thursday, and I got my I wish it was Friday shirt on already. And I'm already brewing hot with some hot coffee. I don't think you can probably see that right there. Can't see the steam coming off the cup, but I am brewing hot here. And for those of you who are wondering, and you're probably on the road or you on on your way home for dinner this time, it's currently 6 o'clock in the evening. You don't know by now, I usually work nights. So this is my morning. This is why I get up. I grab a nice 32-ounce bottle of water. I chug that down, and I go right ahead and start brewing coffee. But today, my lady brewed coffee today. She already had it prepared. She had it ready to go, and so I'm really glad that we have an opportunity to talk today because I have a really good discussion today, and that is in talking to my fiance today. I was concerned about how she was kind of like frustrated about something that was going on with her work. Her boss asked her to do something, and I guess she provided that thing to do or assignment. She completed it, and it wasn't good enough. And I guess she got shitted on by her boss in front of her other coworkers. So, in looking at her and seeing how she was dealing with that, how she was dealing with that, and being pretty much embarrassed or put on the spot, I noticed that she was like really irritable and really upset. So I started thinking about this, and that was, how do we unplug? You know, we're entering to this environment where we're coming out of a pandemic, or we're in a pandemic, or as we showed the other day, we're in an endemic, right? CNN's description of it, we're in an endemic. But my whole thing is we're now transitioning to the work office, or some of us are going back to work after being off, being with the family, having dinners at home every night, or I don't know what your schedules are. But I really wanted to explore this question: how do we unplug when we become overwhelmed? I sometimes feel this throughout my life, especially not outside of the pandemic. I do feel this overwhelmed at times. Feel like there's a lot going on at once. I feel like too much is expected of me, and I just want to explore this. Anyone who is joining the chat, or who is watching this later, put in the comment section. What are some of the things you do to unplug? Do you go to the movies? You know, you got to watch a good flick. Do you go on vacations? I don't personally like to go on vacations because I feel like a vacation is a bit too overwhelming already. I feel like it's a job in and of itself. Vacations. So I don't normally like planning or executing a vacation because uh, I feel like you have to plan like the work, the travel. You have to accommodate for all those things. So I don't always like to do that. So do you like going to sporting events to unplug? Sporting events are fun. I love them. Me and my lady, we go to a baseball game. She may not like the baseball game because it's a little bit monotonous and it's slow. But we go to hockey games, and boy, we love hockey games. I mean, hearing the sounds, guys getting thrown up against the glass, hearing that puck hit the banks on the side there, or hearing guys hit each other, it's great. Do you turn to drugs to unplug? Is that your way to unplug? Do you turn to sex? Right, you want this similar effect to to drugs. You get that that euphoric kind of detach. Drugs gives you that, and I believe sex does that. Do you have sex more often when you realize that you're overwhelmed, overstimulated, and you want to do that? Hey, Charlene, how you doing? Or Charlene, sorry, excuse me. I got to get that name right. That is my co-star's wife's name. I have to get that name right. You watch a show and you play tennis? Yeah, absolutely. Tennis is I want to talk about tennis. I find myself watching when I'm at the gym. I find myself watching tennis and seeing all the different angles that the ball moves back and forth. Like I'm just like, what? That's great. And just seeing what these guys do. These guys are unbelievable. Charlene, what shows do you like to watch? I'm curious because I want to get into some shows as well. But yeah, shows are definitely a way to unplug for sure. Do you like going out with friends to unplug? Um, do you like sometimes when I was younger in my early 20s, I would like to go out, have a few drinks, and I felt like that was detaching until it wasn't. And then reading a book. Do you like reading a book to unplug? Um, do you like being around people or do you like being alone to unplug? So, why do I want to explore this question? Like I said before, um, the pandemic has caused us to be isolated because remember, we're doing social distancing, we're doing sorts of things where, we're doing our protection, wearing masks, whatever, saving lives, right? Oh, well, that's not where we're going today. But we're entering a phase where we're transitioning to being around people more often than we're used to. We're creatures of habit, and we're probably like already, maybe a month in, 3 months in, 2 months in, and we're like, man, this is too much. I can't take this. So, how do we unplug? What do you need to do to unplug? And do you ever notice? Do you ever notice that you are overwhelmed? Is this something you feel? Is there some type of things that come up that pop up, and you're like, oh my god, I'm overwhelmed. Lewis and I are watching Manifest on Netflix. We are hooked. Wow, yeah. I watched like the first, I think it was the first season or the second season up until that point, and I knew it was going to be an endless loop. Like the plot would always be elusive, like it will always keep moving forward, and I'm just like, I don't want to be in that spiral effect, but it's definitely good. I like the concept, and I couldn't understand where did they pull that from? Because I was like, wow, that is absolutely outstanding. Thank you, Charlene, for commenting here. It's always great to have people in the comments, especially when you want to chat. The whole purpose of this all is to chat, talk to people, get some information, and engage. So thank you, Charlene. I appreciate that. One of the things is, do you ever notice that you are overwhelmed? Is it something that you don't notice? Is it something that somebody tells you you are overwhelmed? Someone says, "Hey, hey, hey, take it easy," you know. Um, and what are some of the components that leads us to be overwhelmed? And some of the things I was just thinking about really quickly. No things that I'm looking at research and doing this well or reading books. No, I'm just thinking it from myself. I'm feeling this out, guys. So, are you overstimulated? Is the question. Are you doing things that overstimulate you, or are you ingesting things that are overstimulating you? Like, for example, when I was on yesterday, I was talking on the live with Lewis, and I was talking about how I went on this weight loss journey. I mean, I lost a ton of weight. I went from 350 to 175 pounds. It took a while, almost a year, to go from 350 to actually no, I lie. It went almost about 2 years. I was stagnant at about 290 for a while. So I went from 350 initially to 290, and then from 290 I lost a tremendous amount of weight down to 175. I didn't like 175. I didn't like the way I felt. I really couldn't lift heavy weight. So in order to deal with that, I basically um, I I ate a specific diet, and that was a high protein diet. I only ate meat. I know some of you are like, "Oh my god, how can you just do that?" Well, there's science to back that up. So I ate a lot of meat. Almost, I would try to shoot for anywhere between 3,000 to 4,000 calories of protein, and it's easy. You can achieve that very easily on a protein diet. And I picked up the weight very quickly, and I sat at my perfect weight, and I felt very strong at 230. And so prior to doing all of those things, doing a ketogenic diet, doing a paleo diet, I did a whole bunch of things. And I'm definitely going to have a discussion about my weight loss. But I would take sometimes stimulants initially, the first time around when I lost 350 to 290. I would take stimulants. And those stimulants made me like aggressive, sometimes angry, and I couldn't sleep at all. I couldn't sleep. I just felt I had the jitters. I was taking it out on people. I was lashing out on people, and I realized it was those stimulants, and I got rid of them. So that's why I wanted to ask, like, are you overstimulated? Do you notice that you're overstimulated? People were telling me I was overstimulated. Something's wrong, something's off about you because usually you're low key. And what are some of the best ways to spot you had enough? Best ways to spot you had enough. So if you let's see, let's just take a look at the comment section here, and let's read this one. I recently read a Wall Street Journal article, very good newspaper article, by the way. Not to show my bias, but I really do like Wall Street Journal. I subscribe to them. I pay the monthly subscription. If you really like news, folks, this is obviously I'm not getting paid by the Wall Street Journal, but if you really like good news and good writing, good reporting, I would advocate that you subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. It's a well worth it $20 a month subscription. All right, so let's read her comment. I recently read a Wall Street Journal article that directly linked us, I'm assuming us, using social media and just being plugged to our phones to the overwhelming percentage of anxiety and depression in people these days. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely would agree. I don't even know what you read, and I didn't even look into that. But I remember in my weight loss, I couldn't even sleep by my phone, and I had some of the best sleep, and not because of me being on my phone, but because of the radiation, or our phones give out some kind of energy, and it stimulates our brain. It could be really subtle. There's a lot of research out there to discuss that. So I would ask you guys just to look into that. But being plugged into the phone, period, like the last 10 minutes before bed, people scrolling, looking at things, then all of a sudden becoming worried. Um, you're in the middle of the night, or you turn over, you hear a notification come up, and then all of a sudden you like, that happened, and now you can't sleep, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Terrible. Trust me, that's happened to me many times, especially on my nights off. So I would probably be asleep early because my nights are weird and my days are weird when I'm on my nights off. And I go to bed, and all of a sudden it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I go to get a drink, and I come back, and I look at my phone, which is the biggest mistake, right? I look at my phone, and I see something, and I go, "He did what?" And all of a sudden I'm up. I'm up, and my fiance hates it. She's like, "You need to get back into bed." And I'm like, "Nope, sorry, I'm out." Um, we have another person in the chat today. Welcome, Ava. I think it's Ava Snap and Jones. Welcome. Tomorrow I am doing an assignment for college, for my college class, where I go without media or technology screens for 24 hours. I never use social media because I'm not allowed to, but I use Twitch and Discord. I actually like Discord. I was checking it out. I need to sign up an account with them. But you're doing an assignment for 24 hours. Is that going to feel dreadful, Ava? I mean, you say you don't, you're not allowed to. I'm not sure if there's an age limit here that you have a governing authority, like a mom and a dad, and she's like, they're like, you can't get on social media. I don't want you to get influenced. So I'm not sure what's your age, Ava, and you don't have to put that in the chat there. But I can't even for the life of me today, I can't fathom not being on social media, even though like I'm not hooked to it, but I have to check in, right? I have to look, peek, see what's going on, and um, kind of just see where the temperature is in the room. It's like it's not really a room, but I got to see where the temperature is, right? Like it feels social media feels like a room. I'm just gonna keep tabs on it and see. Oh, let me look at what Louis Savory is doing. What is going on here? And you get like, oh, like nosy. And I think social media is good for that. You could be nosy and no one knows. Ava Snapman Jones, hey, that will feel not hard because I am gonna spend all day tomorrow working out. Okay. Ava, what kind of workouts do you like to do? I'm curious. And again, thanks. I'm saying your name wrong. It's all Snapman Jones. I'm sorry about that. Um, yeah, what kind of workouts you like to do? Because I'm gonna get into that in a bit. Um, the different kind of workouts that I like to do to help me unplug. And it's not high intensity, I'll tell you that much. High intensity will probably make it worse for me. Thanks everyone who is joining in on the chat. I did see Charlene. She also sent another message here. Let's look at that. I know I am overwhelmed when I feel I don't feel have feelings towards the things I care about, numbness and a sense of indifference. Wow. Wow, Charlene, you got deep real quick. I like that. Yeah, numbness. Yeah. That's not a sign for me, but I can definitely see how that can be a sign for others. I maybe perhaps my fiance when she is really overwhelmed. What triggers her overwhelmness is when she gets really, really frustrated. She gets really, really angry, and all of a sudden, poof, she's gone. She's elusive. She's in the wind. And I'm just like, where's my fiance? I do the Joe Biden whisper, where's my fiance? I need her. She's gone. And I'm over here just trying to try to put the pieces back together and oops, she's gone and I gotta let her get her space because if not, it is a wrap. I'll snap again. I like your activity here, by the way. I do one-legged cardio and one-legged arm calisthenics. I do one-legged jump aerobics and running and ankle weights and one arm full. Wow. Okay. One-legged. Got it. That is pretty intense. But it'll definitely keep you busy, Alt Snap. I really believe that because you're doing a lot of strenuous work that's gonna require your concentration. And I give it up to you. I give it up to you. That is some tough stuff. And I thought I did some tough stuff. I like doing a lot of CrossFit when I really want to challenge myself. I do a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I gotta do the Joe Biden whisper because when my fiance is gone in the wind. I'm literally at loss. I'm like, what do I do? Like, how do I get her back? It's like she's in another alternate reality, and I can see her. I can see her face, and she disappears and goes into the space, and I'm just like, wait, don't go, don't go, and she's gone, and there's nothing to do about it, and I've learned to live with that, and I'm going to talk about what she does to unplug. Not just disappearing. She just doesn't disappear to disappear. She goes somewhere. She deals with that, and I hope maybe Charlene, you go somewhere too. The numbness you feel is because you're absent. You're leaving whatever is overwhelming you. I'm surprised no one's talking about sex. Like I know that there are people out there that will probably have a lot more sex when they're overwhelmed because they're trying to like feel good or do drugs. I know a lot of people would do drugs to kind of to get out of that. So, what are some of the stimulating factors? Let's talk about stimulation. Caffeine. I know I'm a coffee guy. I love coffee, but it can definitely hinder a lot of things, especially sleep. As I take a sip of my coffee, 1 second. Yeah. So caffeine is one. It's addictive, by the way. I know some of you may argue with me on this, and I shouldn't talk because I drink coffee every day, and I drink almost 8 cups a day. Why, right? But there are days I don't. My off days, I don't drink a lot of coffee. So caffeine is pretty tough because it uh um it could be a stimulant that gives you jitters and anxiety, and you could be worrying too much, and it puts your brain in overdrive. Now, I'm not going to get into the science of it, but be careful with that. And especially when I see some people, especially Hispanics, drinking their cafe con leche and they're putting an enormous amount of sugar in there. You're just like putting sugar and caffeine in your body at a rapid rate, and that sugar is going to get absorbed just like that. Like that is going to be like you're going to be like running around in circles real quick, So, and then you're going to hit that crash because that's what sugar does. It gives spikes your insulin up really quick, and then all of a sudden you're gone. Social media. Charlene hit on this because I tie social media to our phones because the phone is the key. It's like the access. It's readily available, right? We don't need to go to our computers. It ain't the 90s, guys, right? We all know this. Um, and we don't need to, we can just literally go to our phones and just start scrolling all by a few clicks. So it's so easily accessible. So social media can definitely overwhelm us. There's a lot of information going on, especially if you're watching us, like me and Lewis. We're like always bringing out the heat. We're just discussing heavy, heavy topics, and I know that can be overwhelming. And that's why I think it's really fitting that one, we're not delusional, Lewis and I. We know when it's time to unplug. I'm sure, even if we don't, if we fall victim to this, it's we have to take some steps. We have to take some steps out of that. So, social media, I talked about this on my live a few weeks ago and saying that being on that can make you feel something about yourself, feeling less than, um, comparing yourself, falling victim, what we talked about with poverty and crime, that not just poverty, but relative poverty. Like, I don't have what this person has, I don't have the family that that person has. And that stuff can really affect us, folks. I read an article on that. Information could be overwhelming, guys. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about what kind of information, what's misinformation or that. Listen, information in and of itself, if you're going to school and you're learning a new topic, or you're at work and you're learning a new area, you just got promoted or you got laterally moved to a different section, that could be overwhelming because you're taking in so much information, not only about the job, but also the people around you, right? You scoping people out like, all right, what's this guy's deal? Is he out to get me? You know? Um, you know, uh, there's so much stuff to go on, like you ins and outs, how to respond to a new boss. You just got in a new relationship, and yeah, it's exciting, but you're learning that person, right? You're learning how to love that person, how to get to know that person, or take that person out. So information could be overwhelming. Information could really, really overstimulate us as well. So, what are some of the red flags? Charlene brought it up. She said she once she feels numb, those are one of her red flags. Um, I would say for me personally, a red flag for me is I become irritable. Like I said, I become aggressive. I have very low patience, and I'm intolerant. I do not want to hear your point of view. I don't want to hear anything. And that's once I know I'm there, I see it. I may not notice it at first, the irritability, shortness. I may not see it then, But damn well, once I feel like I'm intolerant, I know it's time to unplug. I need to run, get out of here. I need to do what my fiance does to disappear in space because it's not going to end well. So I want to hear some of you guys. What are some of the things, the red flags you notice to unplug? How do you know that it's time that you've had enough? How do you know? What are some of the red flags? If you want to put in the chat there, let's read it out. Let's have a good time. Let's talk. Let's all share today. I see we're in a sharing mood. Some of our folks here on the chat here. Um, yeah, like I said, intolerance for me is a huge red flag. What are the dangers? We talked about the dangers, and that could be anxiety, loss of focus. I don't know about anybody here. I will lose focus. I become overwhelmed while I'm driving and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. I don't know if anybody understand feels that. But I could. Oh, my fiance would say, "You just missed a turn." And I'm like, "Oh, shit! I need to turn back around and do all of this. Now I got to figure out another way." I was following the GPS, but the GPS now is stuttering. It's frozen now. Man, now I'm overwhelmed. Now I'm making all types of like U's, and I'm making left turns that don't need to be a left turn. So I'm overwhelmed, and I shouldn't be. And I definitely will lose focus. Lost motivation. Anyone out there? Do you think lost motivation is a red flag? Does that tell you you need to unplug? I would make the case that you do. You need to unplug. It's time. Come on now. If you don't have any motivation, if your work ethic is terrible, you were doing great, you were climbing, you got that promotion, you got that lateral move, and all of a sudden, boom, now your work ethic has gone down. Now your boss is noticing you're late every other day. I mean, you're losing your motivation there, folks. Let's see what all Snapman had to say here. Is so strong when he jumps the world, is sent flying millions of light years through space time into the fourth dimension. Macho fixes the fifth dimensional being who can travel forward and backwards in time. Not entirely sure what you're talking about there, but you did give me a laugh. Congratulations. Um, yeah. So I'm going to discuss some of the things I like to do to unplug. And all snap, we agree on something, and that is gym. I like to go to the gym. Now, I don't do high intensity. I because I need to kind of bring the levels down for me. So I like to do low intensity, like steady state cardio. I'll literally put the treadmill on incline, and I'll just walk maybe for about a half hour. And if I'm really out of it, I'll walk for an hour, and I wouldn't even realize it. But that helps me bring the levels down. I feel great. I feel like my brain just decompressed, put everything in its right order. I feel like I gave my brain a reboot. I don't normally feel a reboot in high intensity, or I don't normally feel a reboot feeling when I am after waking up. Like if I went to bed um and now I just got 8 hours, 9 hours of sleep. I don't normally feel the reboot at that time. I feel like I'm already thinking of the day. Now I don't do meditation. I saw a whole bunch of things that people like to meditate, meditating or sitting still or doing all that stuff. I like to kind of still do something, and steady state cardio for me gives me the still doing something, that low stimulation, but not requiring me to exert so much energy. So, guys, try it. Try it. Um, I like it. I like to have mornings with my fiance. We don't normally do that. She has a very hectic schedule. And I have a opposite schedule of her. So we don't normally have mornings together, and it's my favorite thing to do with her. But when we do, man, I feel like I'm recharged and I'm rebooted, my guys. I feel great. And we usually just brew coffee. And we just woke up and she's in her morning glory. I mean, she wakes up with like this radiant light around her. And we sit on our couch and we got our coffee ready and we're just, how are you? Literally, just like that. How are you? No TV, no phones. Phones are probably like still in the bed somewhere. Um, and we're just talking to each other. How are you? How was your week? Or how was your month been? How's your family doing? How's your mom and dad? How they doing? Are they okay? And then she'll ask me how my family's doing. And we just touch in and and I feel great after that. I feel like, man, I feel known, and she feels known. I don't know if she feels the same way like I do. And lastly, what I do is to unplug is I like to cook. I consider myself a pretty darn good cook. I used to do it for a living. So and that gives me the stimulation of some doing something hands on without exerting so much energy. I just yeah, it doesn't require me to, lift like 400 pounds, like I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just maybe dicing up some onions or, putting together Alexa's favorite dish. She likes the way I do crusted chicken breasts, and I usually make that with a beautiful kale salad, and I throw all sorts of things in there. So that for some reason gets my mind off of whatever's bothering me, and it definitely damn gets me off of social media. I don't have to worry about what other people are doing. I don't have to focus on what I need to do for the week, what I need to eat for the week. I'm busy on focusing on this one task, and that might help some of you. Focus out on one task at a time. And I hope that as you watch this on replay, just go right ahead and chat on throw the comments in there and just tell me what you want. What do you do to unplug? Do you notice that you are overwhelmed or overstimulated? What are some of the things that overwhelm you, overstimulate you? Do you agree with some of the things that were said? Um, and lastly, share some of the things you do to unplug. And we'll catch up tomorrow. Thanks everyone for joining the live, and we'll touch back in again. See ya.